would like to call Chef Dr. Parvinder Singh Bali on the stage for sharing his words with us. And I don't think he needs any introduction to any of us. Sir, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. And I'm really happy, and I mean it. Any reasons? Do you guess why I'm so happy to be here? Because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, right? So please, I want a dialogue and not really a monologue, okay? So first question is, why do you think I'm happy?
Good afternoon, Chef.
Good afternoon.
Because you were interacting with us, you were tell us lots of things, lots of knowledges, that's why you're happy.
Yeah, that's okay. That's true. Okay, yes.
Chef, during our induction, we are in third years and we are in first years. During our induction, you had an online session with us and you couldn't meet us and you told us that I would love to meet you all, and probably that is the reason why you're happy today.
Okay. I'll tell you the real reason, because I'll start with the thing that I will try to relate to all of you. I'm very happy here because by the end of the day today, my Instagram followers are going to escalate. So, coming to a generation, talking to all of you, which really, I get to learn a lot from all of you. I have been, and can I say this, and of course I will say, because this is a line I've stolen from Chef Oberoi. And I say that, when I was in uniform, I think all of you, the students, were in your liquid form. Sorry, maybe you didn't get this joke, but keep subtle about it. So the thing is that, I've been a successful, okay, not a successful, I don't know, but happy basically, a person who has worked for 30 years with the hospitality industry. I spent 30 years. For the first 14, 15 years, I was the executive chef. I opened ITC Shonar Bangla in Calcutta. But I think the most incredible journey was, training people at the Oberoi Center of Learning and Development. And I think all the way across, I go and speak to people like you. And I think that's my most incredible journey, because you probably get to learn just from me, but I get to learn from maybe 275 or 300 people sitting in this room. And every year, the new batch that comes in, I learn something new. How do they react? What are the things? And hence I started about my Instagram journey. Because, for most of you, the life revolves around Instagram, social media, Facebook. And the relationships are built on Facebook. Relationships are built on how many likes has somebody seen. You get really upset when that friend has not liked you liked your post, and has liked somebody else's. Then you take the revenge on that. So it's an incredible journey, trust me. I only came to Instagram 3 or 4 years ago, and it's because my students used to tell me that, Chef, you have to be on Instagram. So, I'm on Instagram. There's a man holding 2 bicycles. It's called Dr. Chef Bali. So I'm happy. Please, if you can follow, I keep putting a lot of posts. People of my generation, the hospitality industry chose us. We didn't choose the hospitality industry. I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. I still wear whites. I cut things on the table. My commodities on the tables have changed. But luckily, I was given a doctorate last year. So I am Dr. Chef Bali. But the chef word doesn't go away, because that's who I am. And I think if I take a birth ever again, I will still be a chef, because it's an incredible profession. And being in the hospitality industry is an incredible profession. Let me tell you, each one of you sitting in this room is going to be really successful, is going to be famous, is going to do wonders in your life. And that's a guarantee I'm giving you straight away, okay? But you need to take a step towards it slowly, slowly. Okay. Now, I'm addressing a lot of people here. There are first years who have only heard bad things about the industry from your seniors, who have come in after the internship. Some of you are second years who have already done your internship, am I right? And some of you are third years. So there is a mixed bag of things when you join the hospitality industry with lot of passion and to say, wow, I want to become a chef because I want to come on television. So most of you want to become celebrities. Most of you, I'm not saying all, but most in that tender age when you don't know what hospitality is all about. Most of the people joining a chef's profession think that, okay, I will become like Vikas Khanna, like Sanjeev Kapoor, because of course those people really motivate and they come on television. It is great, wonderful aspiration to have. I'm not saying don't have it. But the reality is that all of those chefs have burnt midnight oil to reach to that position, right? So if you follow that path, you will also get there. Doesn't matter. But that's not the only thing that the hotel management teaches you. And that's why I said, I'm proud that many of you choose this hospitality industry because you're passionate about it. You want to grow in it. You see something. But people of my time, I will clearly say that most of us joined hotels because we had nothing else to do. Right? Now, in my time, my father was an army officer. I aspired to become a doctor. But I landed up into regional engineering college. I'm a 1-year-old mechanical engineer. And I left that to join hotel management in Calcutta. So I'm from IHM Taratala. Because in my naive mind, I thought that I will make some dishes, wash couple of utensils, and I will have all the time in my life to study for medical ventures. And actually I came packed, my suitcase was packed with books of medical college. So pardon me, I think only a Sardar can come to a hotel management institute to become a doctor. But I did that and it was quite funny, but the industry grew on me, okay? And that is what has happened with most of us. So it's an incredible journey. You know, I won't bore you with my journey of ups and downs and things that I've seen. But all I want to tell you that it's remarkable that you're here and you will, each one will be very, very successful. The most important and the turning point in your life will come when you go for internship in the hotels. So it is quite sad to see that there are many passionate people who want to build their career in the kitchen, but sadly, because of the internships, they retract back. And they all think that, oh my God, kitchen is one place I'll never ever go into. So I think as seniors in the industry, we are losing on potential candidates who wish to come into kitchens, but are not able to come because of some bad experiences that happen. So I apologize for that. But there is also something that I would ask each one of you to think differently. Think different. And let me ask you a question here. I will ask you a question. Have you heard of John F. Kennedy? Mr. John F. Kennedy? Okay, the President of United States of America. He went into NASA. And in NASA, there was a person mopping the floor. And his name was Mr. Brown. And he was smiling and he was whistling. So President walked up to him and asked him, what's your name? He said, I am Brown. He said, wow, Mr. Brown, how long you been working in NASA? He said, well, I've been here for the last 25 years. The President thought for a moment, oh my God. And he said, and you've been doing this? He said, yes, proudly for the last 25 years. The President was amazed that somebody working, sweeping, mopping is so happy and motivated and smiling. So President retracted back for some time. And he asked a question to Mr. Brown. He said, Mr. Brown, what are you doing? The President asked the question to Mr. Brown, who was cleaning. And Mr. Brown gave an answer that almost had a tear in the eye of the President. If you were Mr. Brown, what answer you think was that? What answer could have Mr. Brown given that made the president so emotional and sensitive? Anybody?
Mr. Brown said, I helped the first man to put his step on the moon.
Okay, great, wonderful. That's amazing, you know, big round of applause from him. So Mr. Brown said, I'm helping put the man on the moon. Was he right or wrong? He was absolutely right. It's your thought process. It is what you think you are doing. So if in an internship, my friends, if you're thinking that somebody is giving you 40 kilos of onions to peel in a day, and you're looking really demotivated and sad about it, then you will be sad. But there is something that you have to understand, that what an opportunity you have. And I remember when I was an executive chef, and I was talking with the trainees, because, you know, I always love to talk with the trainees. So when we were peeling onions, I joined them because I had some time and I wanted to talk to them. And I said, what are you doing? Oh my God, मैंने तो उनकी दुखती रग पे हाथ रख दिया. शेफ कुछ नहीं, प्याज छील रहे हैं, पिछले एक हफ्ते से छील रहे हैं, रोज 20 किलो प्याज दे देते हैं छीलने को. I said, wow. I said, that's amazing. So you must be amazing at peeling onions. And they thought I was now taking the trip and mocking them. So they looked a little sad. And I said, okay, tell me, how many onions do you need to get 1 kilo of chopped onions? How many raw onions do you need to get 1 kilo of chopped onions? They were only guesses. There was no researched answer, because none of them had actually taken raw onion 1 kilo, weighed it, peeled it, removed the white pith, chopped and then weighed. And then said that, okay, from 1 kilo, I get so much of onions. I said, okay, tell me 5 varieties of onions that you've seen. They were surprised. Wow, are there even 5 varieties of onions? And this I'm talking about 20 years ago, when there was no era of internet, etc. I asked them the price of the onion. They had no clue. Have you watched the movie Karate Kid? If some of you who haven't watched the movie Karate Kid, you must watch it. I think it's an excellent movie for the trainers. The person becomes the best karate player by learning the best moves of karate without understanding that he's been taught karate. Right? That's an incredible movie, and that's exactly what's happening you in the hotels. If people are giving you onions to peel, make it enjoyable for you. Derive the learning out of that. Please take that onions, do the yield analysis. And then, if you have peeled and chopped the onions for 1 week, who stops you from doing a report for the executive chef to say, Chef, thank you so much for this lovely opportunity. In this 1 week of peeling onions, following are my observations. That the onions that you're getting is of different sizes. Some have 2 bulbs, some are big, some are small. The yield is less. If I take round shape onions, then my yield is 85% of chopped onions. So maybe you need to look at your standard purchase specification so we can get the same onions. The cost of the onion in the market is so much, which I saw, but from the receiving I came to know the onion came at this price. My God, I think the executive chef will come out and kiss you. If not literally, but he will really love you for that. And that is where you make a mark and say, wow, I was given a job to do, but I have made a difference. I made a difference to my own learning. So next time when you're given these jobs to do, whether in housekeeping, whether in kitchen stewarding, please don't work hard, work smart. And working smart, add knowledge to yourself. Even if you're just mopping the floor, please calculate the amount of the liquid and how much liquid are you spreading on the floor, and the time that you're taking to brush, the time that you're taking to squeeze and clean. Now that liquid that you've used, multiply by the number of tiles, you'll get a rough square feet area. My friends, just by mopping floor, you will be able to give a report to say that it takes me 2 rupees 75 paisa to mop every square feet of the kitchen. An analysis which will help you tomorrow in your startups. Because I know that everybody sitting in this room is not going to become the executive chef or the general manager or the corporate chef or the vice president. Some of you will employ people, right? Because you'll have great startups of your own. But when you start a business, learn it now with somebody else's money. My God, what an opportunity you have today to learn by somebody else's money, right? So build that things into that. Like I said, you're an incredible industry. And when, Principal Sir started the speech, he said about, it's in trainer's language, it's called Bloom's taxonomy. So in the Bloom's taxonomy, you talk about the knowledge component that you remember, and then you comprehend. Understand is comprehension. Those are absolutely the greatest techniques. Please, whatever you're learning, try to put it into use immediately. Because when you practice things over and over again, it becomes into your autopilot or a kinesthetic sense, the sixth sense. Remember when you were a kid and you were trying to tie a shoelace? Yeah, it was not possible for some of us until we took time. And today, tying a tie or a shoelace is just without thinking we do it. Because we have done it so many times that it's become a kinesthetic sense. So please practice those things. Practice the things in the right way. Please don't see other experienced chefs slicing the onion so fast. Don't focus on the speed. Please focus on the right slice, because what looks alike, cooks alike. Speed will come. Speed will come by time. When you slice 100 kilos of onions, third day you will be a master. You will have the speed, but don't focus on speed. Focus on the right yield. Focus on the right slice, right? You should be so much that when you do your mise en place, and when your chopped onions or brunoise or mirepoix is kept, somebody should walk across to say, "Arey, ye is bande ka kiya hua hai." That should be a thing. And what Mr. Jaiswal was saying about this, that raise your bar high. There is a dialogue in Hindi which says, "Khudi ko kar buland itna कि खुदा नीचे आके पूछे तुझसे बोल बंदे तेरी रजा क्या है." So those are the things that you have to imbibe in yourself, right? Maybe 3 C's you can add to what Mr. Jaiswal said. Those 4 C's were absolutely amazing, and I would like to add 3 more C's to that. And one of the C is be competent. Now, competency will come by networking. Network around. See what's happening in the world, right? Go and visit any conferences. Go and visit any trade shows, like Ahar in Delhi. I mean, some of you should have actually gone to Ahar. You should have told college, we 10 people have decided we are going to go to Ahar. You should have gone. And don't wait for the college to organize this for you. Please do it of yourself, this thing. You'll be amazed when you just see the ingredients around the world, supplies around the world, the equipments around the world. It just, it opens up your eyes. So be competent, network, and know what's happening around in the world. So that is the 5th C. The 6th C that you're going to add to that is courage. Be courageous. Take risks. If you don't take risks, you will keep on doing the stuff that is happening, from last so many years. You have to swim against the ocean. Please take risks. Please make mistakes. Unless you make mistakes, you're not going to learn from it. So please make mistakes. Make sure that you don't repeat the mistake again by analyzing that what went wrong. Yeah, and that is how today when people have made mistakes in their lives, the most senior chefs have mistakes in their lives, have given another chapter in the book to say faults of the cake, faults of the bread, which now sadly you all have to mug up. But that is the thing. Where have these faults come from? Because people made that mistakes and they realized. So please make mistakes, learn from them, analyze. I think the 7th C that I'm going to add to this is customer focus, right? Now that's very important because we are in hospitality industry. Now you as chef, as a housekeeper, as a F&B person, as a GM, that smile is the most deadliest weapon that you possess. And you must practice it more and more. With smile, you can win the world, right? So please be focused on customer. Atiti Devo Bhava runs in our blood. Please do selfless service. Do anything and everything possible for the guest as long as it's legal and ethical. Go out of your way, right, to impress someone. Lot of hotel industries, lot of focus on something called the wow experience, creating memorable experiences for the guest. And I think that is where you have an opportunity to think that how can I make it more memorable for the guest? Now imagine, it doesn't matter you're a general manager or an industrial trainee. You walk into a room and you see the guest's spectacles are broken and lying around. Something is broken and the spectacles are just lying around. Trust me, not even the owner of the company will ever hold you responsible for something that if you took that specs out of the guest room, got it repaired outside and neatly kept on his desk. But before you take the spectacles away, you have to leave a note. Maybe the guest is not there, but leave a note that apologize, sir, that I've taken your personal belonging, but I thought that it needed repair and maybe you were busy or whatever. So I'm taking it out and it will be placed in the evening. In the evening when you come, if the guest hasn't seen, you remove that note and put a new note that I apologize that I had taken your spectacles out for a repair. Hope you find them in the right condition. But that extra step is something that you've gone into the room, nobody's told you. And trust me, this is not even written in the books. But this comes from within. It's like the guest who's coming from your house. And customer focus is not only about taking the feedback there and then. I think it's also after. Post your, when you serve something, go and ask, how did you enjoy your food, etc., whatever. Okay? So I think that, I won't keep you away from lunch. I'm sure that all of you are hungry. But if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer. And I think the first of the foremost question, I think, which is in everybody's mind, which I only will take it up straight away and answer that, is that the question is that how do we prepare for OCLD? Yeah? Okay,
Hello.
so I'll touch briefly on that one, because that is the question that lingers in a lot of people's mind. I wouldn't really tell you any Guru Mantra to appear for OCLD. I will just talk about management training programs overall. And trust me, there is no answer that you all sitting in this room don't know. Each one of you knows the answer to that. Just flip the question to yourself and say that if I want to open up my own business, what kind of people, what kind of manager would I like to hire? So somebody has to be good communicator. Somebody has to be having a business sense. Somebody who is a people's person, knows the management. You will come up with all the attributes. Positive attitude, all that. Now, why should Mr. Oberoi or Mr. Tata think differently? They all are looking for such people. They're looking for people who have common sense. And Mr. Oberoi says that that's the most, uncommon thing found in today's world is the common sense. He stresses on things like, don't hear, listen. If you understand the difference between hearing and listening, that will set you apart. Focus, and the topic was how to become a successful executive chef. And I totally agree that, success is something that is very momentarily probably, and it is phase by phase. If you break it down, it's a long journey, of course, it's an end. And you can never be successful because it's a perception. It's a perception of the mind being successful. But if you break it down to say, my 3 years of student life, and I have to be successful as a student. So the first step to become a successful executive chef is to become the first successful student. And then you have the answers very clearly that what will it take for me to become the successful student? Trust me, it's not about marks. It's not about that you have the highest marks. It's about the knowledge. It's about what you know, what's happening in the world. So please write down something. I'm going to tell you a few things which I want you all to research. And this will really open up your mind to say that, where the world is going and we are still thinking in a cocoon. So please take notes, okay? I want you to research about blockchain concepts. Anybody has heard of blockchains? Okay, I hear a few murmurs. So please research about blockchain concept and how it is being used in food industry. Second thing I want you to research is on something called computational gastronomy. computational gastronomy. Computational gastronomy is the usage of artificial intelligence today into your menus and systems. Very soon, in next 2 years, there will be an app open, and this app maps the ingredients. It splits the ingredients into flavor profiles. So let's say cardamom is split into 21 or 23 different flavor profiles. Similarly, tomato might have 17 flavor profiles. So all the ingredients across the world have been split up into flavor profiles. And this artificial intelligence app picks up the ingredients that marry with each other. So now imagine the tough life of chefs, that a computer on the click will be creating menus, will be creating creative menus. And slowly, the world is coming to such a thing that if I select Indian ingredients on that app, if I'll select Indian ingredients, maybe 10 of the Indian ingredients, and I will select another legend called Japanese. The AI will match my Indian ingredients with the Japanese method and ingredients and cooking methodology and give me a range of dishes inspired by Japanese taste. Sorry?
Sorry, it's like ChatGPT. We have
Well, ChatGPT is very low right now. If I'm talking about, that's why I want you to research about on computational gastronomy. It will blow your mind off. And with that, there is a restaurant opened up in Delhi called Inja. You must read about the reviews of Inja. It's miso marinated chicken tikka. Incredible taste, you know. But so many things are coming up, and I just don't want to lecture you so much about this thing, but I want you to explore the kind of things that are coming into the kitchen world. It's incredible. And you younger generation, which understands the technology so much, and you will be forced to apply that technology over the years, it is best that you start now. So please be on the net, please be on internet, but please channelize, like Mr. Jaiswal said, channelize yourself. So that's a way, please use that laptop, but channelize your things through technology and say, how can I go about this? But at the end, it's not about just learning. Then it is about application. Then it's about trying things. Then it's about actually making it, tasting it, all those things, okay? Yeah, so coming back to the OCLD thing, sorry I divert. Coming back to, I haven't forgotten my question. How to prepare for OCLD? Please read well and have good technical knowledge. And I know, I have met many students who have come across to me and said, Chef, if we join OCLD, you anyway are going to teach us, train us. So why is it so important that I know my basics of technical knowledge? Yeah, I'm sure that some of you might also think like that. कि जब सब कुछ पढ़ाओगे आप तो फिर हमें ना सीखा हो तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Why you're so strict about it? And my answer to that question is actually very, you have to take it with water, because it's bitter. The reality is bitter. Your parents are affording your education. Anybody in this room who is working late night to sponsor his own education? Late night, you're working to pay your own fees. Well done, very good. Very good. 2, 3. ठीक है. Great. You will have a great business one day of your own, right? But when you come to an interview, we only want to check, are you doing justice to your parents' money? Because your parents have spent hard-earned money on your education. If you're not doing justice to your parents' money, then you will never be able to do justice to Mr. Oberoi's money or Mr. Tata's money or anybody else. So it's important that you learn your basics well, that you learn what is being taught to you. So technical knowledge, there is no compromise on that. Second, are you in sync with what's happening in the world? If you're applying for Oberoi's, if you're applying for Taj, have you done a research about that hotels? Do you know that who owned that hotels? What is the history of the hotels? Where did it come from? What is the future growth of? And today everything is on the net. You go onto the Zomato of the restaurant, you'll find the menus also. But research, find out. Before you go for an interview, don't just go unprepared. Like you asked, give us some tips. That will be the question asked to you. That, why do you want to join Taj? Why not Hyatt? Why not Oberoi's? And sometimes you have to really, if you don't know the real answer that why you're here, the answer could be as simple that, well, I'm trying my luck. Taj came up, I'm giving that. If I get OCLD tomorrow, I will join them maybe. But be honest, and they will like you on honesty. Nobody will reject you on that thing that, oh, ye to wahan chala jayega. Nahin, trust me. This is what you all think. But we can read between the lines because we've been there. We've done that. So be honest, be genuine, but research about the company before you go. Right? Then of course is general awareness. And I'm sure your teachers keep harping about it, your parents keep harping about it, but you will not understand until the day you are on that interview board, where people would want to know not the capitals of the country. We want to know open-ended questions. What's happening in the world? Why do you think there's a war in Ukraine? How does it impacting the hospitality business? With data, figures, if you're in sync, if you're reading every day, if you're adding value to yourself, you'll be more confident. It's very evident to see that, you have just brushed on little bit of headlines. No. Because the questions asked are more behavioral in nature. There's there's an open-ended question. Right? And in that question, you are exposed and explored to talk in depth about the knowledge that you have. So those things, if you focus on just these 3-4 things, you'll be amazing. And one thing is, when you walk into the room, bring everything inside. And you walk out of the room, you take everything outside with you. So that should be your approach, I think, when you walk in. Walk in with confidence. Grooming is most important. Because you see the hospitality industry, you see around, people are so well groomed that from a distance, you can tell, okay, this person is a hotelier. Because just the way we dress up, in the suit and the tie. So when you go for that interview, let them see that future general manager in you. If you're going for your kitchen interview, wear your most crispest chef uniform. And walk in with style. Let them see the future executive chef in you. If you think you have it in you, your confidence will suddenly come up. You'll suddenly be there already. Right? There's a saying, there's a quote, which says that if you think you're lost, you already are. Right? So I think the confidence starts with believing in yourself that, yes, I'm there. So what? If it doesn't happen the first time, there's always an opportunity. And you all will be one day there. Because let me tell you, in my time, there was only Taj, Oberoi's, ITC. But now there are so many hotels. Leave aside hotels, there are free standalone restaurants. There is a whole career for chefs today. One is just the hotels and standalone restaurants. There are today celebrities who are keeping personalized chefs for themselves. It's an incredible job. You're a travel chef. You work with the celebrities and they carry you wherever they're going for their shoots. So you get to travel with them, you make their food because some of the dietitian has given them the menus to do, and you're a personalized chef of theirs. A lot of people in Middle East hire personalized chefs who they keep in their homes, and they travel with them. They have banquets of 30, 40 people, they do that. That's also another thing. There is another chef profession called gastronomical engineer. You're in food industries, you're with your food industries where you're making the things and then the scientists work with you to create flavor profiles. Like all the pizzas of Domino's and all these yum foods and all, they have chefs working with them along with the scientists. So the chefs make the food, but the scientists transform them into different flavors and all. Trust me. That's why my opening line was, you're in the best profession. Tomorrow, the chicken makhni will be sold in a tablet, which you'll put with the water or something else and press a button and the chicken makhni will appear. But that flavors, you still will be you who will be doing those. Okay? So please feel proud of yourself, believe in yourself, and love every day and cherish every day that comes your way. Okay, now I'm open to any questions.
Hello.
Okay, if it's lunchtime, yes.
Sir, I have a question that,
Yes.
like, we have a slow process, like from apprentice to executive chef. Like, you get experience of 10 years, 15 years, then you become an executive chef. Now, there is something called management training, OCLD, Taj management training and all. So, after doing management training of 2 years or 18 months, the people will become CDP or executive sous chef or sous chef. So, I just want to know if there is a thing called experience and time. So, experience will come with a time. So, what these management training programs help or develops in a personal, so he will get that experience in 2 years or 18 months, that he will cover up that all the experience of 10 years and 15 years, that journey.
Thank you. Okay, it's a very sensitive question, but I will answer it to the T without mincing any words. An experience, nobody can ever take that experience out of you, right? If you are interested to become a chef, now there is something called a cook and a chef. And a chef is a cook and a manager. But when you manage, you might have team of 10 people cooking. You might not be able to cook. As a chef, probably, I can work on a tandoor, I can work on things. Doesn't matter that I'm the corporate chef of OCLD, that I can work at the same speed as the tandooriya who's been working for the last 20 years putting the rotis in the tandoor. I will never be able to compete with him if it's skill-based. So when you are experienced chefs, over-experienced, you are learning skill-based things. You are skilled at it. But suddenly when you have to grow as a manager, where you have to control a team of chefs working with you, then you have to think beyond just the skills. Then it is attitude, then it is knowledge. So that you are able to, in your mind, plan their duty rosters, plan an event, talk to the guest, get the business for the organization. So your role is much larger. You're more into strategic thinking. You're more into teamwork. You're more into creating opportunities for your team. You're thinking of how to motivate my team. You're involved in hiring. So those are the things that, you cannot expect your skilled tandooriya to do. So those are the things. So management training program basically teaches you part of the skills, and when in the hotels you also learn your skills, but you're given other inputs like food cost control, management and everything. So that is how it just separates.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I hope I could answer your question.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Good afternoon, Chef. It's an honor to be standing in front of you.
Thank you.
My question to you is that what do you think is the most important aspect a candidate should be having while working in a kitchen to make the operations a successful one?
Okay, so the dynamics of today's kitchen, please sit down, thank you for your question. The dynamics of today's kitchen has really changed. When I take myself back into my IHM days when we were learning about personal management, and I was always a science student, but this personal management always went over me because, we were talking about planning, organizing, we were reading economics, need and want, and so suddenly it's like that, that kid in that movie who was dyslexic and the letters were flowing around. I think the same thing used to happen with me. I hardly used to get this head and tail of planning, organizing, all that. But yes, that's a part of the management. But I think what's more critical today for anybody in the hospitality industry is those are the done things, those are the given things that you have to plan, organize. But there are new big ticket items now which you have to have it up your sleeve. These are some strengths that you need to develop. And it has changed the world of management today. So we talk about EQ today. Emotional question. Nobody talks about IQ as much. People talk about EQ. And if you haven't heard of EQ, then you should research about that also. It's called emotional quotient. It's how do people react in different ways. It's like learning psychology, actually, tell me. How do people react in different situations? We've understood that all 5 fingers are not same. But each of them has a work to do. You cannot work without the thumb. You cannot go to Susu if you don't have this. But the thing is that, you have to always realize that in your team, maybe they all have different strengths, but how do you use their abilities to meet the business goals? Your need is like Mr. Brown, to help put the man on the moon. You have to make business, you have to make profit for the organization you're working in. So that is where your role is that big. So EQ is one. The other thing is stretching the team only to a point where they can be stretched and feel happy. There's a rubber band. If you stretch the rubber band too much, what happens? It breaks, it snaps. So that in the management world is called tenacity. Be tenacious, right? Understand that understand the tenacity points of your team, that where can one break down, okay? Those are important. Another thing is perseverance. You all know what perseverance means? Some of you don't know, please research. Amazing word, right? Is that you don't give up. You constantly keep doing the things and make it better and better, okay? So I think in the kitchen, all these three things or more, if practiced, will have your very energetic team. Give them opportunities. Give them opportunities to grow. Share knowledge with them. Train them. Give them opportunities to go and do culinary competitions. Give them a sense of winning. Give them challenges. Today's youngster, you all want challenges. If you're challenged at something and then you're appreciated, you grow a step beyond, okay? So I think those are the things, and when you have a younger team coming in, I think you need to create a whole lot of opportunities. You need to make it meaningful for them. And trust me, the same people who look at watches and say, 9 ghante ho gaye hain, you people will stay back 12, 13 hours because you find that you're doing something meaningful. You're adding value to yourself. You're adding value to the organization. All of the generation of today, and including us, think, what's in it for me? मैं ये कर रहा हूँ काम, मेरा क्या फायदा है, right? So start looking at what's in it for you, and I think you all will be great. Okay, I won't hold you from lunch. Amar khide peche. Okay, I will take your leave. Thank you so much.